What if, and hear me out, Baylor just doesn't play with a quarterback next season?
You are Locked On Baylor, your daily podcast on the Baylor Bears, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into Locked On Baylor. I am in no way supportive of Boobie Miles' choices from Locked On Baylor and Sports Illustrated's Inside the Bears.
All right. Okay.
And
thank you for clearing that up.
Is a possible Tony Altimore lookalike. We genuinely don't know.
Depending on who you ask.
From Sports Illustrated's Inside the Bears. Thanks for making Locked On Baylor your first listen every single day. Cam, everybody had a great Saturday.
Are you not going to mention that I did a feature story on Boobie Miles?
You did.
I interviewed the man before.
Notable, not great guy.
Yeah, that's where I learned a lot about it, actually. It was after we aired that.
Great guy.
And yeah, some things came to light since then.
Right.
Anyway.
The spring game on Saturday, I feel like everybody, this is like fun. Spring games just don't really matter that much. Sure. And I wanted a quarterback to be like really good at the quarterback thing. And that just didn't happen. I didn't see a guy on Saturday where I thought that's my quarterback. Yeah. And that's not a good thing. Just want to throw that out. It's not a good thing.
You know what it feels like?
Oklahoma last season.
You know what it feels like, that having that feeling about your quarterbacks leaving the spring game? It's like when I left the spring game, I thought I dominated the surplus sale. I thought I was the MVP of the surplus sale. I got everything I wanted. And then I told you last night, I said, man, I left some points on the table in the surplus sale. I was so focused in on jerseys right away, and I got the best ones. But like, there's some stuff I could have got, like for my dad for a present. They had the Matt Rule smocks there. I didn't even see him. So you think you've dominated, which I'm sure both quarterbacks felt good coming out. And there were a lot of people in that stadium that was feeling good about at least one of them, right? This is a spring game. Everyone's optimistic.
Yeah.
But actually watching it and watching a lot of the throws back Sunday after going on Saturday.
Thank you, Travis Roeder, by the way.
It was, yes, honestly, thank you, Roeder, for that. Because it was a different vantage point, and I changed my opinion. I was optimistic about the quarterback position, and I'm sure a lot of people in McLean were there on Saturday. And then you saw it, and there was just nothing that jumped off the page. What you had seen before was kind of the same old with Shapen, and Robertson probably isn't as developed as you thought he was going to be. Just you, the fan, obviously not saying the coaches made a bad choice on him, but obviously there's so much optimism to him coming in, and then you see that he's pretty raw. It's, it's demoralizing, but there's a lot of time between now and week one.
There was never a pass where I just thought, wow.
Nothing.
That was a good football pass. Like that
you put in your back pocket leaving the stadium.
Like, where's that 15-yard zip it in there? I mean, Sawyer's ability to throw on the run was not, like, ability is a really strong word. He finishes 9 for 16 for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. The big Monterey Baldwin one really helped him out. 57
Hope we run that play a lot this year.
Yeah.
To just screen to Monterey wherever.
Screen pass, 57 yards, touchdown, Bears. Blake Shapen goes 11 for 20. That's not good.
Did you remember the one thing I said to you at the spring game that was positive after a Sawyer Robertson throw? Like instant gut reaction, the thing I said to you?
No, what was that?
It was a comeback route. It's like a 12 or 15 yard hook there. And he throws it short. And I just turned to you and I was like, at least he missed in a good spot. Which is true, but that's not the one like gut reaction you want from visceral reaction you want from a throw. Is that hey, other guy might have thrown an interception there. At least
not
he's
getting picked off. It's not getting picked off.
Ball's where it needed to be.
My favorite, most impressive pass of the day, which was eventually called a sack, is when the center just snaps the ball 7 feet above RJ Martinez's head. And then RJ runs backwards, grabs said football off back foot, launches that sucker out of bounds, and they call it a sack, and it shouldn't have been.
By the way, he had like a Pat Mahomes type play on like the second play from scrimmage, like his second snap. Do you remember that?
4 for 7, 49 yards, 28-yard completion to Micah Gifford in the game. I've been telling you guys that I like RJ Martinez. I just didn't. There wasn't a quarterback on Saturday that I thought that is my Division I Power 5 Big 12 starting quarterback. There's a problem there. Blake Shapen he didn't take a step. Yeah. Sawyer Robertson looked not dominant. I made the case last week. There is nothing Sawyer Robertson does that is exponentially better than Blake Shapen, enough to give him the starting job. And I think that was proven on Saturday. Nobody stepped out there and just dominated the quarterback position.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next question, because I agree. But if you said season starts tomorrow, who's the starter? Who you think is going to be the starter? Not
Dominic Richardson. Put Dominic Richardson, and then Bryson Washington to his left, Quaylon Jones behind him, and Richard Reese to his right. Where's the ball going? I don't know. Welcome to Air Force. Welcome to hell, Big 12. We are triple option now. Wide zone can kick rocks.
That would be insane.
I don't know. I think it's still going to be Shapen, and Roeder makes a good point. They're going to name Shapen the starter, but by week 3, somebody's going to have the gall to say, if this is not working out, it's either Sawyer or RJ. And based on what I saw Saturday, RJ Martinez is pretty firmly in this conversation.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So knowing, that it's pretty obvious that if it's named this week, it's probably going to be Blake Shapen. So do you see a world where RJ Martinez is second on your depth chart come week 1?
Yeah.
I know depth charts, take it with a grain of salt, but that's what.
Well, here's what it's going to say. Here's what I promise you. Clip this. I am recording this Sunday, April 23rd, 9:59 and 11 seconds in the PM. Blake Shapen will be the starting quarterback for game 1 against Texas State. And right under Blake Shapen, it will say Sawyer Robertson or RJ Martinez as the backup quarterback on the depth chart, because that's how David Aranda does this. It's going to be Blake Shapen. And I'm not excited by that, because you are literally playing against your own team in your home stadium, and you went 11 for 20 for 100 yards and a score. I grew up on Arkansas Razorback spring games where they would play the 1s against the 2s, final score 56-0. And everybody's like, yes, national championship. I don't know why they have that accent, but they did in Arkansas.
I don't know. Things get weird in the mountains, man.
And I like, Blake, this is the lowest stakes thing that you could do. Just go out there and do it. Go be it. And he wasn't. And Sawyer made some good passes, but there's no velocity. There's no like
it just kind of ends up there.
Like a tenacious, I'm gonna throw you the football hard and it's gonna hurt your hands. No, it's just here's a little football. And then RJ Martinez looks like the guy who's played football for 8 years, because he has.
It looked very calm. I mean, it is the spring game. They should, but sometimes we don't see that.
Why did no quarterback look calm? Why did every quarterback, except for RJ Martinez, it's just like the poor Bryson McHenry, is that the kid's name? No. It's like Ethan McHenry or something. He was the third quarterback we saw. It wasn't RJ Martinez. It was the McHenry kid. I think his last name's McHenry. And then third play he gets, just throws a pick. Like the most legendary, lofted up to a DB pick, arm punt. Sweet.
I was thinking the same reaction just watching Shapen out there on Saturday was similar to just a game last season.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. 100%.
He's like, he got hot at one point, 11 for 20 for 100 yards. Like, that sounds like last year. And so that's what it kind of felt like too, is like, oh, well, this is just same old. And, it was, 4.5 months ago versus the next time we'll see him is in 5 months almost. So there's a lot of time, but it just looked like November, Blake Shapen.
Yeah, it did. It's not good, and he's going to be named the starter next week. You know what is good? FanDuel. FanDuel right now. I don't know how I did this. I don't know how I got so fired. I pissed myself off somehow about the whole quarterback thing. Like, dude, you've had months to make this just look good in front of the fans for your spring game. It didn't. But FanDuel looks great. Right now, you can go bet on the Rangers to win their baseball game. The Texas Rangers are really good at baseball right now, and you can put $1,000 on them to win. They are first in the AL West, 14-7 overall. Put 1,000 on them to beat the Cincinnati Reds. And if it loses, then you get $1,000 back in free play. That's literally what FanDuel is going to do for you. They played Kansas City. They won the series against Houston. They've just killed Kansas City twice. They've beaten Oakland, and now you get Cincinnati on the road. It's just perfect for the Rangers to be good. And you put $1,000 on it on FanDuel. It's the official sports betting partner of the MLB. You get $1,000 back. It's a safe thing to do-ish. Yes. So go bet on the Rangers, $1,000 in FanDuel. FanDuel.com/locked-on. FanDuel.com/locked-on. Go do it today. Hi.
Hey.
Cam. That's the bad thing. If there was a bad thing, I thought the quarterback play was just underwhelming, really underwhelming. You've had so much time to prepare. The good things, there were good things. Baylor's going to be the best team in the Big 12 at running the football. Why throw it when you've got so many insane options at running back? And honestly, the offensive line looked good.
Yes, and that was my biggest concern, and probably still is going into this season, more so than even the quarterback play, is just having a totally new offensive line to go along with your uncertain quarterback play. But you mentioned the question at the top of, can Baylor play without a quarterback? I mean, with Gary Bohannon in 2021, they were playing not without a quarterback, but there was really not much of an effect in the passing game for most of that season, and had the best season in Baylor history with this offensive coordinator. So got that power.
So he's
in the
not going to be
backfield, but
fired?
they didn't. I don't think so.
They're not
I don't
firing
think
Jeff
so.
Grimes. Okay.
I'm not. I'm for sure not. As long as he keeps that muzzy too. I'm definitely not. And we saw the promise of not only the offensive line, but that running back room on Saturday.
Yeah. I like
3-4 guys should be getting carries this year.
I think
Rich
Bryson
Reese. Washington's ready to play college football.
I like Rich Reese. I like Dominic. I stand by what I said last week. Dominic Richardson will be Baylor's starting running back. He is too much like Abram Smith not to. I was surprised first carry of the game, they give the ball to Richard Reese up the gut, off left guard. Like, all right, sweet. Take the undersized guy who got 35 carries a game last year and just give it to him up the gut again. That was something that stood out to me as being really good. You can chalk it up to quarterback play. You really genuinely could. But I saw some plays in the secondary where I thought, no way. That was pretty good. There were a few balls knocked down that I was like, all right, not the best throw in the world, but at least there is a biotic secondary, living human beings that are playing in the Baylor secondary.
Yes. Do we know who they are yet? Not really. The names, not really. But I thought they pieced it together fairly well last year at points in the season, with McCarty especially, and Devin Neal making plays. Yeah. I thought they patched it up pretty well. So a couple of starters hit the portal. Just Gonzo, really not what we needed from that position room. But if that's something that they can patch together again by season start, that could be a huge turn in their expectations for the year. So I think if you cover up that passing defense, like you did in 2021, with that running game you have, it just starts to play into your style.
You ready for some good news?
Yeah.
I have stats. I have some stats. And this is the only Locked On Baylor is going to give these to you, by the way. So dial in. Jake Roberts, tight end Jake Roberts. Hadn't heard that name before Saturday.
Nope.
I knew a Jake Roberts in high school.
Yeah, I think we all did.
Team leading 5 catches for 60 yards. Monterey Baldwin, Drake Dabney, and the Davidson.
Drake Dabney back, by the way.
How? I don't know.
Back is a good stat.
Torn ACL and then just like catching touchdowns for Baylor. Jonathan Davidson
6 months later
had that one drop, pretty bad drop, and then he caught a touchdown, pretty wily touchdown from Sawyer Robertson. So Baldwin, Dabney, and Davidson each had touchdown catches. Baldwin had 3 receptions for 70 yards. He is going to be a good player for Baylor.
Dabney had a 70-yard touchdown, I bet. I mean,
yeah. Dabney had 3 catches for 49 yards. Baldwin, Dabney, Davidson, Gifford, Cameron Bonner, Josh Cameron, Jonah Burton, Keytron Jackson, Quaylon Jones, Hal Presley, and Kelsey Johnson all had catches. Keytron Jackson, not a guy we saw do very much stuff on Saturday. That was a little disappointing. He was supposed to be like the crown jewel king of the castle. I have a chair. Didn't get a ton of him. 11 Baylor players, 6 of which were running backs, carried the football on Saturday. Bryson Washington, 11 times for 67 yards. Dominic Richardson.
The dude already looks like a bull, by the way. Like he is close to Abram Smith in his finishing ability. Like now.
Speaking
not
of
there, he's not there, but that dude does not give up on runs the way we saw. Or giving up on runs is a harsh way to put it, but not being physical at the end of runs that Richard Reese did last year.
Dominic Richardson was the same way, falling forward on every run. Like lower the shoulder.
That's something this offense needs, and to have potentially 2 of those guys.
8 carries, 46 yards. Reese had 10 carries for 42 yards. Bonner had 3 rushes for 48 yards. Overall, everything not named the quarterback, I liked. I enjoyed this, watching everything but the quarterbacks during the spring game, and thought pretty much everybody else did a good job. I am not upset with anybody else. Isaiah Hankins was good. The Jack Stone kid was good. Nice. Yes. Good for you guys. How about Isaiah Hankins lining it up from 52 and plenty of leg? Like, would have been good from 60, just hooking it left. Right. That was impressive. I like Baylor Bears Saturday, not quarterback position withstanding, withholding.
I like Baylor Bears as well.
You guys got a point.
And it's a favorable schedule this year, Drake. Kind of know where I'm going with it.
Yeah, if Baylor goes 4-8, that's probably
no expectations. That would be a disaster.
That would be
with Texas State and LIU
like losing Jalen Bridges.
That would also be really bad.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
I really hope, man. That would be tough. That's a tough ask. Is that another show, though?
Yes.
All right.
Dave Aranda spoke to the media on Saturday, and it was interesting. He said,
was he appreciative or?
Yeah, no, he was glad that everybody showed up. He was.
Did that surprise you? Did that he said that
no,
they're going to have one by the end of spring ball? Like, is that the way the college football world has to be now with the portal?
He keeps doing it. He keeps saying the stuff.
Yes, he does. Yeah,
hasn't really worked out yet. There's not been a good Dave Aranda quarterback.
3 quarterbacks, 3 years.
There has not been a good Dave Aranda quarterback. And I know what you're saying is, Drake, that's stupid. They want a Sugar Bowl. Not because the quarterback. Not because the quarterback. Dave, you spoke to the media, and it was actually pretty good. He's getting more entertaining. Coach Aranda, take it away.
It's good to see you guys. I thought, spring was good for us. I think in the very beginning of winter, really, when guys came back, I've mentioned this before, but just the staff and there's new pieces there, and new guys kind of coming in the team, and so one of the first meeting was, if you give us half your heart, we can show you half our power. If you give us all your heart, right, we can change your life. And I just, I look at that, like Baylor University, Baylor Athletics, I think Baylor, our football team, just the whole, with the whole approach that football is way important, but there's so many things that are equally so. And so just attacking it in all phases of off and on the field and in the classroom and all of it. Way proud of this group. It's a way young group, but GPA is way up and looking to compete there and finish really strong. And then you look at the practices and they go by so fast. When there's last year where there'd be things that would just be so long, and now they just goes by like that. And so it's a really good, it's a good feeling. I thought today had some positive things. A lot of the stuff that we have seen, I hope that you guys were able to see. And so there's some building blocks that are kind of some that are further up than others. Others we got some work to do, but I'm just confident with our approach that we can do it. And so I guess with that, take any questions you guys got.
Dave, what'd you see from both Blake and Sawyer today and throughout the spring, and do you expect to make a decision now or in the fall?
So appreciate that. Yeah. So with Blake, I saw like a real calm today and a command, and was way centered on just, something good happened, something bad happened. I didn't see him phased at all, and I saw him step up in the pocket when there's pressure. I didn't really see like happy feet and things, and so saw some good throws, from hash to opposite sideline. So was really pleased with him. And then, Sawyer has kind of been becoming all the way through, from the beginning of, getting a play in the read mixed up with an air raid play. We read it from the right, and he used to read that play from the left, and just all of those things in the beginning to where it is now. We had 40-second clock there, and so his command and getting guys lined up and where dudes were, I thought was really, really good. I think, he's only going to continue to get better. Then it was cool to see RJ, man. He had some magic tricks out there with some of the pressure that he was getting, and he's way cool, calm, collected under some under some pressure too. And so the idea is to kind of huddle up with offensive guys. And I think we're ready to make a choice, but I want to make sure that they're ready. And so we're aiming to do that when we get back in the week. Yes.
When you made the choice of Shapen and Gary last year, it was about the possibility of the offense being more dynamic. Does Sawyer even give you possibly more than that now?
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think the choice last year was to try to throw the ball down the field more and just be more explosive in the pass game. I think anytime that there's tight ends and running game and, like what we're trying to do on defense is get tight, get close, get everybody, get edges, they've got 7, we want 8 in the box and all of that. And so it opens up potential big plays. And so that was the thought last year. And I think, I look at Sawyer, I look at his ability to run, I look at, he's got a moxie and kind of a spirit that's contagious. And I think that's, his growth and his learning is really just going to continue to take off just because of his want to with everything. But then, I look at Blake and I look at, the season that was last year and how disappointing it was. And, to walk around and carry that can be heavy. And to put in work and then to put in work and to make changes and to really kind of confront the things that were holding you back, and to do it in a way to not bring attention to yourself, but really just to focus on the specifics of the thing is a way cool thing to see. You just see a dude just kind of grow up, really mature. And so that's happening right now with Blake, and way excited for him. I thought, you could see just the coolness and just the whole thing today, and I think that's tied into that. And so I think we're blessed with the two we got. Like I say, RJ's is got some spunk in him too, man. That dude's got some playmaking ability in there. So we're blessed.
When you make the choice on quarterback, do you plan to do a press release, or how do you plan to let us know?
I don't know. I can just give you my But no, I appreciate the question. Yeah, I don't know. I have to imagine we probably, with all of the attention to it, we probably need to huddle up, have a good way of doing that. I'm sure that we will.
That was Dave Aranda. This is Drake Toll. That is Ground Control to Major Tom. Great jersey.
Appreciate the question. Dude, I love this, man. They only had like 2 of. I was one of the first ones in there, and they only had 2 of these. For those of you not on YouTube, this is the blackout Kansas State game, the number 1 Kansas State Colin Klein game.
The blackout Kansas State win.
Black jersey that Baylor's had. Well, they did. Well, they wore black with the chrome against Kansas State in 2014. I don't know that was it was a blackout uniform. They wore this one in 2012 with the green letters and the gold trim. Big Baylor across. I like the Bryles uniforms, but I think they should have stuck with this template. You know what I'm saying? The RG3 ones?
He who should not be named.
Like the green and white ones are basic, but also way better than the basic ones we have now.
They're terrible. The current jerseys are terrible, and the helmets don't match the yellow. The yellow on the helmets do not match the yellow of the jerseys. I have many bones to pick from this weekend, mostly with the quarterbacks. But my other bone, speaking of bones, whoever's idea was to have the surplus sale, good for you, dude. Good idea. Terrible.
Oh, man, we're going to start seeing more of this.
I mean, sub-zero execution. Let us have unlimited items come in, take 35 things. You might as well. You're standing in line for 4 hours. We'll have 2 really slow checkout people, and we're going to do it in a closet. We're going to have a surplus sale in a little bitty closet for people to come to. We're not going to do like a pop-up shop. We're not going to do like 8 cashiers. We're not going to expect anybody to show up. And guess what? Everything is borderline free. Here are game-worn, badass jerseys. Take this. Go away. Baylor
I'm not going to critique that part.
I will. Like $20 for what you're wearing is absurd.
That's awesome.
I know. Someone should be fired for how low the prices were.
That was a great call.
In this economy, can't you tell I'm a socialist?
Well, clearly this is from 2012, so they went back with a lot of stuff.
I mean, there's probably
they had a lot.
Surprised that yours doesn't smell like rat poop. That's literally a game-worn jersey that is sat in a box in the doldrums of, like, in the basement of where Floyd Casey was. And they brought it out. They're like, oh, shoot, look at these. This piece of history.
But they didn't have the gray crew neck.
Hey, to the guy
this is somehow the most elusive thing ever.
To the guy who bought the non-game-worn jersey, that exact non-game-worn jersey for $140 last week on eBay, sucks for you, buddy. Because everybody else got those for $20. eBay's
that's one
nuts.
of the points I left on the table. I would have loved to have taken 3 more and put them on eBay.
Yes,
and paid my friggin' rent for a month.
Yep. I'm Drake Tollitz, Cameron Stewart. Who cares anymore? This has been Always Will Be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. We sat beside Jeff Grimes at a table this weekend. Baylor.